paradigm shift. Like, it would be mainstream, like, systematic, like, are you interested in changing your worldview? And you don't have to buy a whole set of beliefs at once, but let's walk through some of this stuff, like starting with a comparison chart of linear mechanistic, systemic organic, kind of, and just start looking at them, start looking at the benefits of seeing the world a different way, and then relating that to problem solving. That's just, I wasn't expecting that question.
So in terms of, like, it's more of a worldview, like let's say the larger network is paradigm shifting and each moderator is taking a different perspective. So let's say if you're actually looking through the lens of a worldview,
mm-hmm.
How would that translate? How would you sort of say that to people? Like, what would happen within this forum or web TV show?
I'd like to develop exercises, fun exercises, where maybe people could watch along or participate and practice seeing their world through a different viewfinder in terms of actually the nuts and bolts, or the practice of worldview as a verb as opposed to a noun, maybe. And practice looking at something in a linear, rational, mechanistic model of how the water is falling down this course, say, for example, and understanding that in terms of potential energy and that converting into movement and whatever else is going on in the physics that I don't fully understand, and then looking at it as perhaps taking a step aside and looking at it as part of a hydrological cycle, and looking at it as part of sustenance of the life in the pond, and the processing of where our drinking water comes from, and the lifeblood of the land, say, or something like that. And then maybe taking another step aside and looking at it as a resource. It's water. Looks like we're slated to sell a whole shitload of it to the state, or give it away. That's terrible. And that's not, and I don't even care about national identity, but as a resource, it's a utility thing. It's only seen for its end-use value as opposed to its inherent value. So then maybe we take another step away and see it from some kind of spiritual sense, like water's written up and so important in all kinds of religious and spiritual traditions, I don't know. That's one example of an exercise that maybe we could do to start examining and start helping people realize that they actually have a worldview and that they might want to investigate what theirs is about and whether or not it serves their purpose in life. And that might open a door to ask questions about other things, like whether they've ever contemplated having a higher purpose than just a physical existence. Like, I know a lot of my friends and a lot of the close people in my life are wonderful, wonderful people. And a lot of them think that science is it, and that there's, that I'm part of the generation that, God's dead. We killed him. Nietzsche killed him a couple hundred years ago. Like, it was ugly. But we're over it, and it's just us, and, but that doesn't necessarily work for me, because get too lost in the nihilistic kind of end game, and I'm starting to see something else, and maybe other people would be interested in looking at themselves in a different way too. I don't know, but those conversations are very related as far as I'm concerned, and I would try to relate them or try to bridge them in any kind of interaction, or whether it was teaching or whether it was just catalyzing dialogue or whatever the case is. I'm not sure what else to say about that right now.